Hi everybody, this is Traci Cornelius and we are on week 7 for the countdown to our new baby's arrival. So very exciting, getting a lot closer now to the due date. So last week obviously showed you that we bought the new buggy. Review for that will be up once we have tested it extensively, shall we say. This week it has been again a lot about preparation. So the car seat that we have, I've taken all the covers off, run those through the wash, obviously washed down the casing of the car seat and the straps and all those type of things. And the reason for doing that so early now is because there are a few other inserts and everything else to go into it. So the bulk of the seat, if you like, is ready to go. The other thing that I started to do as from last night was to start washing the baby's clothes. That might seem fairly early for 7 weeks, but bearing in mind that in 3 weeks' time we're going to be packing the hospital bag, and I just want to make sure that one, I've got everything nice and cleaned, organised, and it also means that I can find out if there are any parts missing. Plus, it's really exciting when I don't know what it is about baby clothes, but I mean, just look. Isn't that so cute? I mean, this is like, it's so dinky in comparison to my other children's clothes that it just makes me kind of look and go, oh, that's so cute. And the little baby grows. I mean, that's just so tiny. Look. Yeah. Oh, I know, simple things. So anyway, started to wash these, and like I said, it just also means that I can work out if we're really missing any items, and if so, they're also the type of things that I can add to the baby shower list for anybody that wants to purchase anything during the baby shower. And that's helpful for them and also helpful for us as well. The other thing, which is extremely important, very, very important, and is a must for me, is I have a labour playlist. And I did this, I think I might have even done it for Nevaeh. So it means I would have had it for Nevaeh, Grace. We didn't actually get time to play it at all with Alina, so I've used it twice. So I'm going through that and putting in songs that I like, and then taking some of the ones that, you know, don't appeal to me quite as much anymore. I actually create 2 playlists. Having a baby and going through labour is like having the most intense workout for such a long period of time that you can ever think about. It is like running a marathon. They say, you know, it is like running a marathon, and it is. You've got to pace yourself, you've got to do all this type of thing. So the 2 playlists that I have one that is predominantly made up of dance music and very, very upbeat, got a lot of get up and go into it, because, you know, during the first stages when your baby is moving down and getting into the birth canal and all the rest of it, that's like very intense contractions for you. However, it can go on for a number of hours, so trying to keep upbeat and everything else is what I do. I mean, I listen to more upbeat music if I go to the gym for a workout. So my thought process when I was going to have Nevaeh was, why wouldn't I do that if I was going into labour? And it actually worked really well, because I suppose music makes you happy as well, so it releases different endorphins. So yes, however, you can never guarantee what mood you're going to be in when it comes to labour. I can pretty much say that if we'd have tried that approach when I had Alina, because I don't really remember having the build up. It just suddenly seemed to have got very intense very, very quickly. It would have irritated me completely to have that kind of upbeat music. It just would have made me very angry. You'd have seen an angry me instead of a chilled out like woohoo me. So because of that, I also have another playlist which is more of a chilled out one, and this is also really good for the latter part of labour, when you're really having to concentrate on your breathing to try and push out the baby and that type of thing. So having that to focus on can be really good. Like I said, you can put all of these things together and that's great. Just bear in mind that when it comes to it, you might not want it at all. But at this stage, you've got absolutely no idea. For example, with Nevaeh, obviously extremely excited that I was pregnant because it was never meant to happen. They said after I had Kaisha that I couldn't have any more children. So very excited, wanting to make sure that Kaisha was involved in everything else. And had always decided that Mark and Kaisha were going to be the birthing partners. And we went to a midwifery-led unit. I'm really not a fan of hospitals. You know, to try and make it feel more homely, I guess. But I couldn't cope with Kaisha being there at all. It still upsets me to this day. But I couldn't, because I was trying, I guess, to hold myself together so that she didn't see how much pain I was in. Nevaeh was pressing on my back. It was another back-to-back delivery. So there was no respite in between contractions because you've got a constant backache, which is, I can only really describe it as horrendous. And then you've obviously got the intensity of the contractions. But if you have them in your stomach, you have a contraction, you have a little bit of respite, and then the next contraction comes. When you have back-to-back deliveries, unfortunately that respite isn't there. So I had that. When the baby moves much more into position, I'm always sick. That just seems to happen. So the backache, the contractions, the sickness, trying to hold myself together because she was there and I didn't want her to panic and all the rest of it. And in the end, I had to get someone to come and pick her up. So you can have all these ideas of what you think that you might want, but you're just going to have to bear in mind that you've got absolutely no idea how you will feel until it gets there. And however you feel is perfectly fine, because you can only cope and deal with what you can deal with at that time. This is not something that you can have that crystal ball and look into the future and go, right, well, I'm definitely going to have it like this. So it's really handy to get a number of things ready for how you think you might want it to be, but also have contingency plans and try not to get too upset if it doesn't quite work out the way that you think it's going to. It might do, but again, it might not. So like I said, for my labour playlist, I've got one which is quite upbeat, as if I'm having a workout, because that's how it feels. And then I've got one that's a lot more chilled out as well. So and the reason for doing it now, excuse me, is because I've got a few weeks again to tweak it and change my mind if I want to, and also change the positions of how I think I want the playlist to go through as well. So what I try to do is I try to think, right, okay, well, we're going to be going to hospital around about this point in time, and the intensity should be roughly about this level, and then thinking about the labour going through as much as you possibly can with these things. So that's what I have been doing for our baby preparation, with 7 weeks to go. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you again at 6 weeks, and they're going forward for the other things that we are doing, ready for our little bundle of a joy to arrive. So, and if you've got anything that you've been doing around about with 7 weeks to go, then do leave me a comment. Let me know what you're doing in preparation for your baby. All right then, guys. Speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye.